And if I may, I know that there was discussion, but I can give you an update where we are with the funding on ARPA, because we still have a little bit of the revenue replacement left to spend, but we also got some projects coming through the hopper next couple of meetings, ERP and things like that. So, if you'd like, I can give you just kind of like a brief summary of where we're at.
Yeah, why don't we do that at the next
Later.
meeting? Try to make this short. Certainly, if the deadline is the end of the year, I know we've talked about it, but, you know, certainly
It'll be on the
in
agenda.
partnership with the council on, if there are, funds that are encumbered, certain, you know, different members of the council would have some
Yeah.
potential, you know, input, to make certain that, you know, they don't revert back to the federal government.
Yeah, and through the chair, what we'll do is we'll put an agenda item on there, call it ARPA update, and I'll send out some documentation to review before the meeting and we have discussions.
Chairman?
Council.
I was just wondering, like, if they were, like you said, Mayor, a one-time purchase, because I wondered how we were gonna renew
Right.
these. You know, if we didn't have the ARPA money is what I was thinking, which is,
So through the chair, one thing that I'm proud of, and you guys should be as proud of as well, is we never got into that trap where we don't have any long-term costs, where you see many municipalities, many schools that got into that, and we should all be very proud that we're not in that situation.
Through the chair.
Go right ahead.
Just a quick comment. So obviously I look at everything from a different lens when questions come in. Councilwoman, so what I hear in your question, aside from some of the good discussion that's happened already, is how long is this stuff gonna last for? So, not to go through each one, but basically it's kind of a mixed bag. So like your computers aren't gonna last you 10 years. The infrastructure items, so more relating to, 8.10, that should be a 5 to 10 year lifespan. If there's only 5-year support as of now, we would have to purchase that extended support after that 5th year, but then it shouldn't be this significant amount. Same thing I know specifically with the firewall that we're purchasing under 8.12 is it has at least a 10-year lifespan in terms of the model being supported by the vendor. So again, at that point, we would reevaluate the hardware in 5 years, and if it's still solid, then we just get that extended support by, you know, extended licensing, it would be much less.
thank you.
Any further questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes.
Yeah.
All those opposed say no. Yeses have it, motion carried. Item 8.10 is the motion to approve CDW My Deal state bid for network hardware for an amount of $445,760 funded through ARPA Fund IT Capital Outlay.
Motion? Support.
Motion by Councilwoman Brandana, supported by Councilwoman Daniels. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All those opposed say no. Yeses have it, motion carried. Item 8.11 is motion to approve Dell My Deal state bid for additional laptops and docks in the amount of $71,005 funded through ARPA Fund IT Capital Outlay.
Motion? Support.
Motion by Councilwoman Rose, supported by Councilwoman Daniels. Is there any discussion? Go right ahead.
Mr. Chair, I just want to comment. I have some really good success stories. I'm not going to talk for a half hour. But if you were to inquire with, so if you recall, a few weeks back, we purchased 75 laptops. We've deployed those in the police department and the majority of City Hall. And if you talk to any of those users, I've heard things like, it's Christmas, oh my gosh, we can actually do our jobs more efficiently. We're not paying overtime to do things because we're waiting on the computer. So, I mean, that's money that we're already seeing, you know, return on investment. And, you know, I haven't looked at any data or anything yet, but, you know, faster service to the residents means more people are going to be able to be served faster. So, you know, we all really appreciate the support, and, you know, especially with the additional approvals coming tonight. This is just really good stuff, and the impact is huge to everybody, including the taxpayer, and how we're able to deliver the service. I want to jump off subject with some of the things we've done with BSNA and, you know, having more online features and functions. Probably save that for another day. But again, you know, we appreciate all the support, and now that we've actually deployed some, you know, we have some, you know, proof of concept, if you will, in terms of what we're actually able to do for everybody and how real the impact is. So I could talk for an hour, so I'll just leave it at that.
Cindy's tired. So,
I was thinking just that, you know, want to give a status of, I know the mainframe system, there's been some changeovers. Maybe again, in a future, meeting, we've talked about, you know, where are we at with the IT project, but not tonight.
Fair enough.
But I do appreciate the update. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All those opposed say no. Yeses have it, motion carried. Item 8.12 is a motion to approve CDW My Deal state bid for network firewall refresh in an amount of $143,047 funded through IT ARPA capital outlay.
Motion?
Or,
Motion by Councilwoman Witten, supported by Councilwoman Brandana. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All those opposed say no. Yeses have it, motion carried. Item 8.13 is a motion to nominate and appoint blank to fill the vacant position on the Taylor City Council per section 4.5 of the Taylor City Charter. Are there any nominations? Hearing none, we'll go to 8.14, motion to approve one-year contract renewal with Davies Claim Solutions LLC as recommended by Risk Management.
Motion?
Motion by Councilwoman Witten. Is there support?
Support.
Supported by Councilwoman Brandana. Is there any discussion?
Through the
Chairman.
chair,
Go right ahead.
could I get a better explanation on this? I was a little confused.
Mr. Preserve, there's a question on item 8.14, risk management, and Davies.
Oh, the way I'm reading this, it's saying that we're gonna have Marty take over our records or certain claims, and I don't think I understand that.
Probably, I can find contracts going back at least 10 or 11 years that we have a TPA, a third-party administrator, handling or helping risk management claims with the city of Taylor. When we are out looking annually for insurance policies, one of the items that they look for is whether or not we're doing business with a professional TPA. So our ability to get a license or a policy and the pricing on the policy is in some way, shape, or form dictated by whether or not we have a TPA. So this contract has existed, like I said, I found at least 10 or 12 years. They were ASC, Alternative Service Concepts. They went into Davies. So this is a renewal of something that we've had for several years.
Thank you.
Any further questions?
Chairman?
Councilwoman.
So I wasn't able to be at the last risk management meeting, we have like a new representative for Davies now, right?
Correct.
And so were they more responsive this time at this meeting? Because I know we were having a little trouble connecting and all that, so I wondered if we worked out all those bugs.
Yes and no. The fact that we're obligated to have a TPA has led me to, recommend to you that we continue to do business with the entity that we've done business with for all this time. But we've also looked at the potential of other TPAs and whether or not services could be improved through someone else. So while I think that we'll do what we can do to hold them responsible for the services they're supposed to provide under this contract, I think we should keep an open mind on what to do going forward.
Chairman?
Councilwoman.
The relationship with the Davies has always been good since I recall. The person that was on our rep before, she was amazing, I thought. I really liked her. But I wasn't sure, if you were having any new or any issues with the new person.
Enough to where, again, we're kind of weighing our options, and this is done on an annual basis. There's some out clauses that if for some reason we needed to exit this.
Hold on one moment. Can I ask the folks that are out in the atrium to please stop screaming? You're interrupting the council meeting in here. Thank you. Please continue.
So if we wanted to get out sooner, we could. There's an exit clause in here. But I don't disagree. They've provided some good services over more than a decade. Who your rep is very important based on what we want them to do for us. And I think as this company's gotten larger and where previously we may have had somebody that was more local and more accessible, that wasn't always the case recently, and we just want to continue to review that to make sure we're getting the best bang for our buck.
Chairman?
Councilwoman.
Yeah, the reason I was hitting my microphone is because I was hoping everyone heard your question, because it was a really good question about, why do we have someone doing these claims? And another thing I would add too about having a TPA is that history is good. With changing administrations and people, it's good to have a TPA that's been there for a while, I think.
We get a monthly loss run report, if you will, that's used for insurance purposes. And again, as we're trying to source an insurance policy, we'll start that process in March or April for the next fiscal year. Absolutely, insurance companies are interested in claims information, and a TPA is built to handle that kind of reporting, whereas an administration that might change over or a risk management officer that might change over, this provides a steady review of history that you or I may not have ourselves.
Chairman,
Councilwoman.
so I was reading in here on page 1, and it says, Davies agrees to investigate, adjust, settle, or resist all such losses or claims only with specific prior approval of the client. Does that mean anything they're going to approve or settle would come before council, or?
It would mean that we have to initiate the claim with them, and we would typically be risk management. If there's a settlement that requires council approval, it wouldn't be settled until council signs off on that. So any risk management item that you've seen brought before you, Davies could have been involved in that, but there's no opportunity for Davies or risk management to settle those claims without council involvement and approval.
So
But this could be a slip and fall at Heritage Park. This could be I tripped over a curb. This could be a $1 million claim for a public safety matter and everything in between.
So do all of those items come before council, or are they able to settle those without coming before council?
Council would approve everything over $2,000.
And then I was also reading in here, do they keep all of the paperwork, like all of the paperwork would be stored at Davies? It's not stored here at the city? Is that what I was reading?
What do you mean by
Like
paperwork?
all of the paperwork, anything, any claims or anything, any reports of the claims would be kept with Davies? It wouldn't be kept on file with the city?
It would be, because we're talking about, like I said, anything from a slip and fall to a major complaint or lawsuit, it could be Davies. More likely it would be an attorney that was assigned to handle the case on behalf of the city of Taylor. So the paperwork, so to speak, would be at whatever law firm is managing the complaint against the city.
Okay. So I was also reading in here where during the term of the contract, they'll store the files for a period of 3 years, and then they're either returned or destroyed. So does that mean if they're